All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to look at the Quran from a totally different angle. For just a minute, try to forget everything you think you know. We're going to explore this idea that it's not just a book of beliefs or rules, but actually a manual for a whole new way of thinking.
And that brings us to a huge question, right? One that a lot of us have probably wondered about. Is religion all about just believing things without question? Or is there maybe something more going on? Well, the perspective we're digging into today has a pretty fascinating answer.
You know, for most of history, people have had two basic ways of knowing things. On one side, you've got knowledge that's based on stories and tradition, the stuff we accept just because it's been passed down. But on the other side, you've got knowledge that's built by asking tough questions, by looking for actual evidence and using your own reason. The whole argument here is that the Quran was meant to kickstart a massive shift, moving humanity from that first column over to the second one.
So how is it supposed to do that? Well, the core idea is that the Quran wasn't just another story to add to the pile. No, it was presented as a tool, and a very specific one at that, a tool designed to completely reset the very foundation of how we understand reality.
I mean, just think about that metaphor for a second. A key. A key doesn't tell you what to believe. A key is something you use. It's a tool that lets you swing open a locked door and see for yourself what's on the other side. This whole idea suggests the Quran is meant to be a tool for your own discovery, not just a list of commands to follow blindly.
Yeah, I know. Epistemological resetting is a mouthful. It's a fancy term, for sure. But the idea behind it is actually super simple and incredibly powerful. It's about hitting the reset button on how we decide what's true. The new gold standard for truth wasn't just going to be, well, that sounds like a good story. The new standard became verifiable evidence. Proof.
Okay, so if the Quran is this key, this tool, how exactly do you use it? What's the instruction manual? This is where the whole idea gets really practical. It's not about some abstract belief system. It's about a clear, step-by-step process for figuring things out.
So, the process is laid out in 4 clear steps. Step 1, you've got to observe. Actually look at the universe, at the world around you, at how things really work. Step 2, be skeptical. Challenge what you see and what you're told. Don't just passively accept it. Then comes the crucial 3rd step, the very foundation of this whole thing. Demand proof. And finally, step 4, use that proof to dig into reality and chase down the truth. It's an active, rational, and very hands-on process.
But why? What's the end game here? What's the whole point of all this thinking and questioning and demanding proof? Well, according to this interpretation, this method isn't just some kind of mental workout. It's directly connected to what's described as humanity's ultimate purpose in the cosmos.
And that purpose is all wrapped up in this one single word, Khalifa. Basically, it means a steward, a caretaker, a manager. The idea is that humanity was given this huge responsibility to look after the earth and everything in it. But think about it. You can't be a good caretaker if you have no idea how the thing you're taking care of actually works.
And this is where it all clicks together. See, the ultimate goal is to fulfill that role of Khalifa, the steward. To do that job, you absolutely need a true, deep understanding of reality. And the tool you're given to get that understanding is the exact method we just walked through. That rational way of thinking based on asking questions and demanding proof.
Now, what's really fascinating is how this way of thinking also completely changes how we might understand other religious ideas. Let's take the concept of warnings, for example. This brings us to a final and I think really important point.
I mean, this is a pretty common idea, isn't it? That religious warnings are all about scaring you into obedience. But if this entire system is actually based on reason and thinking for yourself, does that really make sense?
According to this perspective, the answer is a hard no. A warning isn't a threat designed to shut your brain down with fear. It's actually the complete opposite. It's a prompt designed to turn your brain on. It's an invitation to think critically about your actions and what their consequences might be. So the warnings are really being framed as questions. Instead of just saying, be afraid of this, the message is more like, hey, have you really thought this through? Have you considered all the possibilities here? Are you actually using your mind and reflecting on this? It totally shifts the focus from fear to rational thought.
And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty big question to think about. What if the whole point was never just about accepting a list of beliefs? What if, instead, the greatest test was always about adopting a method of thinking,
one that's built on curiosity, on skepticism, on evidence, and on a relentless pursuit of the truth. It's a powerful idea.